The ancient art of Feng Shui to create a healthy, harmonious home originated in China over 2,000 years ago. Skeptics say that it's superstitious humbug. But what if it's not? When Kim Powell met his future fiancée, Boon Yap, online 2 years ago, he had no idea their lives would collide and culminate in a very unusual building project.
It's good to be out in the water again, isn't it?
It is. It's a beautiful, calm day.
After his kids had flown the nest, Auckland-based businessman Kim was planning to spend his retirement living on his boat. Meanwhile, Boon was giving up a distinguished career as a research scientist in Melbourne to become a Feng Shui practitioner.
I wasn't thinking of relocating or having any romantic concept of moving at that stage, certainly not.
But all this changed when Kim invited Boon on a sailing trip to see how sturdy her sea legs were.
The real litmus test was, does this lady sail? Can she enjoy it? And so I thought, well, let's take the bull by the horns and find out. Neutral, Boon, neutral, quickly, neutral.
Despite being a novice, Boon soon took to the water, but was even more entranced by the magical landscape.
We were sailing between Titicaca and Whangarei Heads. The weather was beautiful. I was seeing this incredible scenery before me, rolling hills. And I said, this is where dragons play.
Boon suddenly started talking about dragons. I thought, this lady's crazy, but I like her.
I said, in my tradition, mountains are dragons, and they carry the lifeblood of the land. And if the mountains are beautiful and lush, dragons are happy, and that's where the energy is vibrant. And that's a great place, a wonderful place to live.
Just round the head.
Boon had always dreamed of building a perfect Feng Shui home. She'd learnt the art of orientating spaces to capture the best flow of energy from her father, who was a Feng Shui master. Although Kim knew nothing about Feng Shui, he was captivated by Boon's enthusiasm and keen to explore further.
So we got down to Auckland and thought, look, let's strike while the iron's hot. So we tied up the boat, hopped in the car, came up north, and we commenced our search for the perfect Feng Shui site.
Kim and Boon's hunt for land in the lair of the dragons took them 4 hours north of Auckland, to a densely forested mountain range overlooking Bream Head.
Welcome to our site, Chris.
This is it.
Yes.
How did you find this beautiful spot?
It took a bit of finding. We scoured about 250 kilometers of coastline. This, to me, is the perfect Feng Shui spot. When you stand here and you see this view before you, and the dragons playing there and over there, and you've got the open sea, and we've got that protection where I have the mountain at the back and two ridges like the arms of an armchair.
In Feng Shui, if you translate it, what does it mean?
It means wind and water. It's about energies of the environment, how they impact on us. It affects us health-wise, financial wealth-wise, relationship-wise, how we relate to people.
What have you got here? This looks interesting.
This is a Feng Shui compass. This is the tool that we as practitioners use to orientate what we want. So the first thing you have to do is orientate your home so that your home site is harnessing those energies. Certain sectors may be good for a bedroom, but it's detrimental for a kitchen.
Boon makes it sound so beautifully easy, you know, in terms of, yes, we lay out the good energy, the bad energy, etc. But there was a point in time when I threw up my hands and said, is there anywhere in this darn house that you can build anything?
What kind of house are you actually going to build?
I love the Southeast Asian styles. I grew up there, so I had hoped to incorporate some of that here.
It's what I call a hint of an Asian influence, but it's keeping the whole thing in balance, you know, because it is primarily a rural New Zealand home.
Cradled by the mountain, overlooking Bream Head, extensive earthworks carved deep into the 30-degree slope, creating 2 levels. On the ground floor are Kim and Boon's offices, which should be entered from the outside to ensure good fortune and prosperity. A huge carved central front door invites energy into the house. This passes by an enriching water sculpture and flows upstairs to a large open-plan main living area. Here, to ensure harmony, negative energies are contained within a corner room. In the kitchen, cooking can only take place on the southwest side wall. At the heart of the home is an ornate Chinese-inspired courtyard replete with water sculpture, a dragon jade stone table and uplifting exotic plants. A meditation room slots between the courtyard and the serene main bedroom, which can only be entered from the south. Here, the bed faces away from the sea to ensure the couple's good health. Along the front of the home, expansive windows and gabled Chinese-style roofs complete this perfect fusion of east and west, all nestled in the harmonious embrace of the dragon's arms.
So, the obvious practical question then, with all this complexity going on, is, yeah, but how much is this going to cost?
Your question, that's over to you, project manager, budget manager.
They're probably talking about $1 million.
And then add a contingency.
And then add a
Yes.
contingency.
Yeah.
You know, but I always prefer to use risk management rather than contingencies.
I guess we're looking at about 1.5 million then. And what about the timeline? Have you got an idea on that?
We're saying that we're going to do the whole lot in 18 months. And we've been told by very learned people that that can't be done.
Well, I wish you both a lot of luck. Although it sounds like you don't need it.
That's what Feng Shui is
Thank you,
about.
Chris. Thank you.
The first job Kim and Boon have to tackle is clearing the dense bush. This isn't a job for the faint-hearted, which is why they brought in local bushwhacker Stumpy.
As you can see, it's a bit more than your average garden mulcher. You wouldn't want that in your backyard, would you?
The windy spring weather means the ground is soft, muddy and very, very slippery. Not ideal conditions when you're working on a 30-degree gradient.
An incredibly tricky job. He's got extra bits of metal put on the tracks of his digger that are almost like climbing crampons. But he was saying that if he hadn't got those, he'd be sliding down the hill, actually a bit like he's doing at the moment. I'm not quite sure where he's going to disappear to.
As the trees disappear, the realities of the site become clear.
Quite steep, huh?
It is quite steep, actually, Boone. If we were building a ski field, this would be spot on, you know. And I think as a building site, then, yep, we've got a few challenges ahead of us. And look on the bright side, now with this high up on the side of a hill, we've got a fantastic view.
Yes,
you know?
the sea view in the front, which is an important aspect of Feng Shui, because the water energy will activate the good energy in this direction.
And Stumpy's certainly in need of a boost of good energy because his big yellow diggers got well and truly stuck in the mud. So it's a spade and the little orange digger to the rescue.
He's looking a bit desperate going with a hand shovel.
I need to get this guy to dig me out.
Yeah.
No, it's just a little bit wet, Kim, and can't get out of the place.
Eventually, the bushwhacker rolls its way out of the muddy site, leaving Boone to ponder on what she's chosen.
This is exactly how I envisaged it. This is it. We're very, very happy with this. So it's quite a surprise to see the bush all gone, but that's definitely the right space, the right energy.
While Kim's project managing the build, he's living on his boat, and Boone is in Melbourne visiting once every 6 weeks. Because they don't want to be apart for the full duration of the build, they're constructing a smaller dwelling 100 yards up the hill. This will later be a guest house for friends who will also get to experience Feng Shui firsthand.
This is our main door, our Feng Shui door, the center of the house, and this is where the best energy is.
Yes.
So this is where we welcome the best energy.
I actually felt sorry for the builder the other day because to get the angle right, we were down here with pencil lines, Boon's Feng Shui compass, a spirit level, pieces of wood, etc., trying to get the door right. And, you know, Chris was saying, all I want to do is build a house.
And the frustrations for the tradies don't stop there. It gets way, way more extreme.
You may think there are sensible cupboards over here, but no, in terms of the energies that Boon's trying to attract, these are in fact dead spaces. The plumber looked at this cupboard, said, what a wonderful place to put a water heater. No, that actually is part of the house that cannot be activated. So it's going to have a wall on it, have a door. So guess what? The heater ends up in the pantry. But that's the problem solved. We've got the plumber happy now. The electrician quite happily says, we can put the distribution board here. You can't have a cooker that close to a switchboard. So the circle of Feng Shui just goes on.
I'm really getting it now. You guys are utterly mad. It's...
I really respect Kim in coming all the way with me. And it was him that said, we will not compromise. And this is the result of not compromising.
Well, call it what you like. I think some people are feeling sorely compromised.
So how's it going, John?
Oh, mate, I tell you, it's driving us crazy. You know, everything has to be aligned and, you know, it's just hard to work with.
So she comes with a compass and checks it all?
Yeah, checked it, so, you know, it's got to go that way a couple of degrees and...
A couple of degrees?
Yeah.
So you have to change the wall?
Yeah, just change the wall slightly. Yeah, it's driving us nuts.
It's interesting. I think I'm just beginning to understand what Feng Shui really means when it's translated into the physical building of the house. And it's no easy challenge. I mean, cupboards to nowhere. And I kind of think, where's this going to end?
In Northland, the small guest house which Kim and Boon will be living in while the main dwelling is being built is nearing completion. And Kim has to forego the idea of waking up to the stunning sea views in favour of his health.
And you might have thought with this fabulous view that we'd be wanting to live in the front bedroom. For reasons of Feng Shui, that doesn't work for us. So we're in fact going to be sleeping in the back bedroom.
It makes sense, I suppose, to have the view and you wake up to the view. However, the bed would be oriented facing southwest, and for us, that is very negative. So for me, southwest is my total disaster energy direction, and for him, it is bad health.
For Boon, who is Chinese Malaysian, all this makes perfect sense. But for Kim, who's new to this way of thinking, it's a leap of faith he's embracing with an open mind.
It's all looking good.
Or at least, he's trying to.
I was a bit sceptical at the outset about some of the attributes of Feng Shui that Boon told me about. And I must admit, I took it with a bit of pinch of salt.
You know, as we started drawing out the design of this place, and he had certain ideas, and I said, we can't have that. And so I threw his ideas totally out the window. And then he was willing to listen.
And the real benefit of people from such different backgrounds coming together is that it's quite expansionary. You know, intellectually and mentally. Dare I say it, some people are sort of contracting in their view when they get to my age and stage, whereas this is the start of a new adventure.
By midsummer, massive earthworks are underway for the main build. Boon's mathematically calculated the orientation of each room to ensure perfect harmony. Meanwhile, Chris the builder has to make sure her figures align with his. Not an easy task.
Obviously, building is very practical, and Feng Shui, sometimes it's not practical. There's certain things that are just not going to work, and you just got to think outside the box a little bit.
Part of the reason the project is so huge is Boon's insistence on having a large space in front of the house, an integral part of any Feng Shui home.
Can't quite believe it. I mean, this is pretty significant. It's a bit of a landscape project.
This flat area, or the Ming Tang area as it's called, has to be at least half as deep as the depth of the building. And so the building is, you know, sort of 14-odd metres deep from front to back. And so this area at the front here, between the blocks and here, is 7 metres, you know, to meet that requirement.
Having to create such a large flat area on a steep site is a complex challenge that's required a huge 3-metre retaining wall, which forms the interior spine of the house. It feels like some ancient Chinese battlement almost, you know, grand terraces of some of those wonderful big temples.
I think it looks big, but once the house is built, you won't see the impact of this. This will be planted in, you know, grasses and landscaped in. It'll have a little brook flowing through it. It'll have the bush around it. It really is, you know, ultimately designed to blend and nestle.
I just see that that's going to be a big challenge to make it feel somehow back in tune with the land, you know? There's something really magical about this spot here in the bush. And it reminds me a lot of growing up in the bush. And I thought that the techniques for Feng Shui would be very much in tune with this kind of environment, sensitive to it, and responsive to the topography and, I suppose, building lightly on the land. But it almost seems that the way the foundation here is being done is a total contradiction to that, because it's brutal. Massive cuts out of the land, and then these huge, robust retaining walls. It's quite a shock. While Kim is busy on site, Boon is in Melbourne tying up her career as a research scientist in preparation for the move over the Tasman.
I have a daily ritual. I get up, go to my altar, I'll light an incense, and sound my singing bowl, and say my prayers. The prayer is about how I can be a better person, how I can let go of negativities in life, and how to wish good of the people that done you wrong.
Boon's other daily ritual involves practicing a martial art called Wuzu Chen, taught to her by her father, who was a Grand Master.
He got us all to practice martial arts. He believed that that would improve our health. I started learning when I was 4 years old. We had to stand in front of our altar, and we have to do this stance, and we would stand like that for half an hour. That was our routine.
Boon's father was also one of Southeast Asia's leading Feng Shui masters. Boon became his student in her 30s and later a master herself. The new house will provide the perfect location to springboard a new career for Boon as a full-time Feng Shui consultant.
I want to bring the richness of this tradition into New Zealand, and I want to continue what my father started. I live my life by wanting to contribute, make a difference. So in my biomedical life, I did that. In this next phase of my life, I want to do it.
In Northland, the late summer sunshine is making conditions good for getting the framing up. Although it's exciting to see the shell of the house emerge before his eyes, it's also been a moment of rude awakening for Kim.
There's been a couple of moments when we said, what have we done? You know, because the very first frame to go up was that very tall one at the end. And so when I came round the corner, I couldn't see anything else except this massive framing. And when it was there in isolation, it just looked so big, you know, and we thought, wow. And then there's a roof to go on top of it, you know, so that what on earth are we building?
For builder Chris, the scale and complexity of the build have meant long, hard days.
Yeah, I've been doing longer hours, 10-hour days. The thing is with Feng Shui, everything takes double the time to do. You know, it's got to be precise. Yeah, it's very important with Feng Shui.
Being naturally conscientious, this project is continuing to test his patience.
Building's very practical. Everything's got to be square, plumb, level. Now, what's awkward about that? But when you bring the Feng Shui aspect into it, that's when it's had some trying times.
In Northland, autumn's arrived, bringing with it a burst of cold, windy weather. Not ideal conditions to put on the roof trusses, especially when the crane's reach is limited.
You can actually only get halfway across the actual top of the building. I was actually hoping we can get 3/4 of the way, but we're not. So unfortunately, we're going to have to stack the majority of it on this side and then drag it across. A lot of extra labour. We have to carry physically each one.
Manoeuvring these 60-kilo trusses along the thin wooden joists would make even the most experienced tightrope walker nervous.
As you can see, when I'm walking around the edge, you know, if I trip, then at least I can fall into the safety net. So it's a bit like a circus.
And he's clearly not the only one who's seen the opportunity to clown around.
Yeah, you want to try? It's fun.
No, I'll never get out.
Kim and Boon have chosen a complicated East Asian hip and gable roof system designed to enclose the house around an internal courtyard.
This sloping, slanting roof is very characteristic of Eastern Chinese influence. Some are a lot more slopey. If you notice the temple ones, they actually slope upwards even. That's too tricky. So this is sufficient to give us a hint.
Because you've got a number of pitches, you've got more nogging, you've got more braces, more angles, more work, more stress.
While Chris gets the roof nailed down, Kim and Boon are working out the layout of their internal courtyard. Seen in many traditional Chinese homes, the design of these small interior gardens dates back over 2,000 years. Built originally for kings and emperors, they often featured a pond, the most notorious of which was filled with wine.
I'm going to design pathways that follow Feng Shui principles. And then how we do plantings, where we place those rocks, are to emphasize and enhance the good energies. The energy within this space will change in 2024. And I've done all the calculations for 2024 period going forward for the next 20 years.
Boon is clearly future-proofing this house, including a special storage zone for unwanted and troublesome energy.
This is my lock away the bad energy room. And the reason I put it is because this part of the house, this third of the house, actually carries the calamity energies. And if it's not locked away, each time you use either the lounge or the stairwell, you're actually activating the calamity energies. So the way to overcome that is to enclose it.
You might have thought you'd heard it all by now. You haven't.
Coming down to the bedroom area, or the bedroom wing, if you like, I think you'd normally expect to come straight through a door like this and then look out at the view. This area was the most difficult Feng Shui thing of the whole lot, because from a Feng Shui perspective, you needed to enter this way. And so we come down the corridor, we enter, and we created this little hallway here, because then you turn round and come into the bedroom. I would love to look at that beautiful view, you know, lying in bed. But from a Feng Shui perspective, believe it or not, our bed head needs to be here, and we look that way.
If we had our head oriented here, that's Kim's very, very worst direction. His health is going to be awful. And that's my second worst direction. I've had personal experience with that direction, and I'm not going to go there again. To me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, pardon me for saying this, but yeah, I must admit that at first, I thought it was plain bloody ridiculous. You know, there's no two ways about it, because you pay for a view, you build a house with a view, and then you face away from it. You know, I thought, well, that is just crazy. That was the bit where I was tempted to throw my toys out of the sandpit. So really, it became a question of letting go of my feelings, extremely important though they are, you know, letting go of them and saying, how can we fix it? And so the fixing it was by making the bedroom longer, so that we can place the bed, you know, albeit a slightly unusual feature, in the middle of the room facing that way, create a sofa or seating area there, so we can still sit there, you know, in the morning with a cup of tea or whatever and enjoy the view.
As the build continues, Kim and Boon are grappling with major decisions about the house while still living in different countries. Boon in Melbourne and Kim on his boat in Paekakariki Bay.
The reality is I'm quite lucky insofar as I never get lonely on a boat. And so that the boat suits me perfectly. Really, I've been delighted with her as my home. It's been superb. You know, in fact, I don't really know why I'm building a house, you know.
Well, part of the reason is that Kim recently proposed to Boon, and they're hoping to get married in the house next summer.
So yes, at the ripe old age of 62, I just casually said, well, you know, since we're doing all of this, should we get hitched? And she sort of was so surprised, she said yes. The proposal and acceptance was easy, but Boon's making a massive commitment to relocate from Australia. And so it took an enormous amount of courage, I think, on her part to actually throw in her lot with me. Boon's a very multifaceted person. She's frighteningly intelligent. I've had the enormous privilege of coming to understand a lot more about the Chinese culture, a lot more about Feng Shui. So that's really been an enriching experience and an expansive experience. I have to say, I'm not quite sure what Boon's got out of getting to know me.
Now that's a good question, because with a ring on her finger, why is Boon still in Melbourne? I hope she's not having second thoughts about such a huge life change.
Boon, it fascinates me. You've spent a lifetime here in this city, in this country, but here you are now choosing to give all that away to go to New Zealand. Why?
For Kim, I've always loved the outdoors, and so for me, it is like every day will be a holiday in New Zealand. I just couldn't imagine him here because he's a sailor. And Melbourne water is not the same as New Zealand waters. For me, I think he'll wither here. Mm-hmm. And it's easier for me to move. So it's time for other things. And I feel my calling, the Feng Shui part.
It strikes me that there are a lot of similarities between the two of you. I mean, you with all your cultural heritage and your scientific background, and Kim with his sailing background. I mean, what a lovely marriage.
So Kim, obviously, yes, he works with energies of the wind and energies of the water, and I'm energies of the land and also the wind, the air. So it's about connecting with the environment. Both he and I connect with the environment, so there's a lot of compatibility there.
So you've done your calculations then?
I did, actually. I checked him all out beforehand.
I wondered.
I did. I knew a lot about him beforehand.
It seems this build is all about calculations, those that add up and those that don't. On site, Kim's come up against a problem that could have major consequences. While window frames are going in, there's been a call from the council.
And so the building inspectors raised an objection. The way the building is constructed, we've got the frame of the building, then some plywood goes over the top, and then this blue paper goes over the top of the plywood, and that gives a really, really good waterproof seal. The problem we've got is that the specifications of the plywood and the specifications of the wrapping paper don't indicate that those two products can be used side by side. And so what we need is certification from the architect that the products can be used side by side. And I guess that's where we've hit a slight further problem insofar as the architects are away in China at the moment. The absolute worst case scenario is that we have to take the paper off again and that we can't use it.
And that's not all that's on Kim's mind at the moment. With escalating build costs, he had hoped Boon's flat might have found a buyer.
We had hoped to sell her home by auction last Saturday, but unfortunately with the state of the Melbourne property market, which is down quite substantially at the moment, we were unable to sell it, so that was a bit disappointing.
So it seems it's a waiting game all round, for both the build and Boon's flat. Kim and Boon have always been clear their Feng Shui home in Northland will bring together aspects of both Kiwi and Chinese culture. So for some of the more bespoke elements of their home, they've travelled to mainland China to the sprawling avant-garde city of Guangzhou, just north of Hong Kong. This is Kim's first visit to China.
I really didn't know what to expect, but I think first impressions have been really favourable. right down actually to experiencing new cuisine, because last night was the first night that I've ever eaten roast pigeon.
This morning, Kim and Boon have come to a place that specialises in custom-made furniture and lighting.
We're here today to discuss designs and supply for our timber window frames for our home. We want a bit of oriental look. So I gave them 3 samples, and they actually came up with a carving, and I thought, wow, this is perfect.
And it's not just internal window decorations they're looking for. They've got their eye on some other bespoke pieces too. Kim specifically wants a desk, and Boon a dining table.
Well, I've always wanted a round dining table, which was more practical for, again, of course, I grew up in the Chinese tradition, and sitting around a round table is more conducive to everyone joining in the conversation and sharing the food in the middle of the table.
All round, a successful trip, despite Kim's initial reservations about coming all this way.
I was a little bit concerned before I came to say, look, is this going to be a productive use of my time? And I'm delighted to say that it's been fantastic, because not only have we got solutions, but we've got better solutions than I would have ever dared dream of.
While Kim and Boon are away in Guangzhou, builder Chris is racing to get the house closed in. Luckily, the building paper didn't have to come off, and today the windows are arriving. 22 of them, to be precise, some weighing up to 300 kilos.
We've actually had quite a bit of rain over the last few days, so there's a lot of moisture inside the actual house, so yeah, it'd be good to get it all locked up.
We've got a good bunch of guys, everybody understands what everyone's doing. Line up. It's more if somebody lets go, the extra weight goes on to everybody else.
But time is their enemy this morning, as the storm clouds gather for yet another downpour. At least the main room looks promising.
Now I can sit here and eat my lunch dry, so it's good.
Brave words, but the job's not done yet. The heaviest and longest pane is yet to go in. It's a 4-man job.
In 3, 2, 1.
Mile too high, group.
Oh, wow.
No snug fit here. The massive window is definitely too big.
I've measured that wrong.
Yeah, hey mate, I'm just phoning you because of, you know, those 3 windows that were shortened up, those 3 panes of glass haven't been shortened. Yeah. Yeah, okay, right, talk to you soon, mate. See you, mate. Bugger. A little bit of miscommunication there between the glass people and the window manufacturers. It would have been nice to have it all locked up because, you know, we need the moisture content to be lower. We'll delay things by probably about 2 weeks behind, I guess, with the insulation inside.
While work slows down on the build, Kim and Boon are taking the opportunity to visit the Chinese garden in Dunedin for inspiration for their courtyard garden.
It's all very well to have these theoretical ideas as to what we'd like and Chinese principles and Feng Shui, etc. But this is a living garden. And so we thought it'd been really nice to see how it works and really get some ideas.
Built in 2008 to celebrate the city's cultural heritage, it's one of only 3 authentic Chinese gardens outside China.
Tell me a little bit about the kinds of principles and how you're going to use them in your garden.
A garden like this expresses the Chinese culture and philosophy of a yin-yang principle, that the world is made up of opposites. You see that the rocks are hard, you see the water is soft, and our culture is to balance the two.
So is there going to be water in your courtyard?
Yes.
Yes.
And stone?
Yes. Yeah. And the stone is natural. It's from our property.
Boon's also brought her compass along today to get some ideas on how the water should flow through their courtyard at home.
I'm pretty much at the center of the gardens, and I'm taking the main features here. The main feature is that waterfall, and that's considered incoming water. I point to the water.
Yeah.
All right, and then I align this needle to fit with the 2 dots, it has to exit in this direction, westerly. Now, that means water that is taken off this lake has to be taken off from that direction.
Okay.
And then you can just imagine all of this, Chris, when we're explaining this to the drain layer on our property, saying that the drain has to come from southeast 1, northwest 1. I tell you, the Northland drain layers are learning a lot.
Boy, I feel for them.
Yes, building within the constraints of Feng Shui has been a huge challenge for everyone. But I'm fascinated to see how the house is shaping up. After all, it's only a few months until Kim and Boon hold their wedding here in March next year.
Gosh, you've done quite a bit since I was here last. Tell me a little bit about what we're seeing, because, I mean, this is not just an ordinary space, is it?
No, every single space and every little consideration has been put in.
And what's going on in that cupboard?
That's the naughty corner. It has to be shut away.
Don't look at me like that.
No activity, no people in there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, so I can't be sent there. That room literally should not be used at all.
Yeah.
This house is all about rules, and nowhere more so than in the kitchen, where Feng Shui can even influence how healthy your food is.
The cooking space could not be on that wall, could not be on the return, could not be on this side. The only space that we can have is that wall. And that proves a problem because that's where the window is. And typically, where the cooking space is, you have the splashback and then you have the range hood. We could not have that. So everything we have to keep below bench. It's a bit awkward.
It's a bit awkward.
Yes. So I have to let that go and move on. So.
Aside from the mind-bending challenges that Feng Shui is throwing up, outside there's a more conventional problem that could prove a real setback.
Fair to say that we've hit could be a major problem. We've got the retaining wall underneath us going right the way along here, and that's block concrete. And unfortunately, there's just one patch where there's been some moisture penetration. The worst case scenario is that all of this has to be dug up to reveal the wall so we can see where the leak is.
That's going to be a pretty major headache, though, at this stage of the game.
Of course, but Boon and I knew what we were getting into, and we're saying, we've hit a problem.
I love Kim and Boon's irrepressible optimism, but this really could be expensive and time-consuming. Let's hope it's not some bad Feng Shui that's escaped from the naughty room. But then, who's to say? I arrived back at Kim and Boon's Northland home on a cold, wintry day. It's a year since I was here last, and what a transformation.
Oh, gosh.
What was once a dense forest is now a grand Southeast Asian home with an internal courtyard encased by gable roofs. The front of the house is defined by a porch and an impressively large and ornate door.
Namaste.
Lovely to see you, Chris.
It looks magnificent. That is a beast.
This unique door, custom made in China, combines fortuitous Chinese symbols with distinctive Kiwi carvings.
It's based on Imperial Chinese Qing Ming Dynasty doors.
Well, take me in. I am so intrigued. I can't wait to have a look.
Right, please, come on in.
Come on in.
Gosh, this is very impressive.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It's a labour of love.
On the ground floor are Kim and Boon's workspaces and a guest bedroom. But it's upstairs past 3 auspiciously placed cascading windows where the real enchantment begins.
Boy, it's extraordinary. It is so rich with all these wonderful gems here. It almost feels like a museum.
Many of these precious antiques were bequeathed to Boon by her parents.
What I'm really enjoying about this room is just the way it's connecting you to everything. I mean, the connection out to the bay, that lovely sweep of sea, and then the connection with the courtyard. It really sets up quite a beautiful structure to this space.
Indeed.
Leading off the living area is another intriguing room with ceremonial artefacts and exquisite inlaid wooden furniture.
What would this room be used for? I mean, I really feel like we're in a formal palace here.
This is our formal lounge. The living space is very active, that grounds you and stills you.
Literally, it was last week. I was tired, a bit wound up, and for some reason we just sat in here and I felt the bad energy gradually just drift away. But then I actually found myself re-energizing. That was almost empirical evidence for me.
Down the hall, beyond the formal room, is Kim and Boon's bedroom, deliberately arranged to ensure their good health.
This would have been one of our more tense discussions, I think it's fair to say, Chris, because with a view like that, they're just fabulous. Why on earth would you have a bed that faces this way? But in Feng Shui terms, I'm afraid that was a non-negotiable.
Hilarious.
One has to admire Kim's resolve. Not many people would turn their back on one of the home's best outlooks. Tucked away at the back of the house, past the main bathroom, is the meditation room, a quiet retreat where Kim is embracing a new spiritual element in his life, something Boon's well versed in.
I give thanks every day to my father and my mom and to our ancestors.
It's really a great honor to be here and to share this with you guys.
Thank you.
On the other side of the house is a spacious kitchen with a generous standout Tibetan stone bench top and access to the internal courtyard. A place of true wonder.
This is total magic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I look at this and I just think, gosh, this is the most exquisite space in your house. It is beautiful. It's also extremely special that all of this is centered around water.
Water is the life source. It's the most powerful element in Feng Shui. And it is the best element to use to activate good energy.
Lovely.
Yes.
The way the house feels is really, really interesting. I mean, I think of it very much from the perspective of you and your relationship with your father. And how do you think he would think you've done?
I know he's here. I know he's enjoying this. And he's wrapped, totally happy.
It feels like we've been here for a long time. It's just so right and grounded.
Boon,
Yes.
what's your favourite part of the build?
Tough one, but I would say the courtyard. The stillness, the calm in there. I just love it.
What about you, Kim?
I'd say it's a deck.
The call of the sea. What was the budget in the end?
Somewhere between 1 and 2. It'd be certainly not more than 2.
So what did you learn from each other through this whole process?
This has been a really great testing ground. And I think we've become stronger.
The ultimate litmus test, if you like, is that I'm extremely glad that we did it.
From my perspective, it has been quite an extraordinary privilege to have witnessed all of this. So, well done.
Thank you, Chris.
Boon had long dreamt of building the perfect Feng Shui house, somewhere she could practice her art and honour the teachings of her father. But then she met Kim. It took a big leap of faith and patience on his part. And together, what they've achieved is radically different than your average Kiwi home. But maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe we're ready for new ways of doing things. New ways to seek balance, harmony, and well-being. In these crazy times, I think we definitely need that.
Stonemasonry requires skill, patience, and huge physical effort. So if you've had zero training like me, then you'd have to be incredibly ambitious to want to realize an entire stone-clad house and lay all of it yourself. In the heart of central Otago's picturesque wine-growing country, Lucien and Roland van der Waal are about to build a home together in the vineyard they bought here 6 years ago.
When this opportunity came up to buy this vineyard, we took the bull by the horns and decided this is it.
It was an extremely bold decision because since moving to New Zealand from the Netherlands 35 years ago, they'd only worked in retail and hospitality.
My family in Holland, they thought we were absolutely bonkers. Are you guys crazy? What about your retirement? What about your savings?
They put everything they had into 20 hectares of neglected vines with no house on it.
And so we had nowhere to live, so we borrowed a caravan and lived in there through winter.
After 9 months in the caravan, they graduated to a small kitsette house which they've been living in with their dog Frankie ever since.
It's a hard lifestyle, but it's a beautiful lifestyle. We really enjoy it. And at the moment, we generated enough cash to start building our dream home.
And their son Michael, who's a builder, has moved down from Wellington to build it, living in a cabin on site.
I planned and designed the house, and it's been a process in the making for the last probably 15 years.
Yes.
Yeah, hold my fingers crossed and hope for the best now.
Yeah, fingers crossed, because building a house together as a family has the potential to be a very stressful endeavour.
Hey,
Oh,
G'day.
Hiya, Chris.
nice to
Roland.
meet you. What a great spot.
it is.
It's gorgeous. So the big dream was to get a vineyard,
Yep.
but you fell for it hook, line and sinker without a house.
It was scary at the time. We now have got a son who is a builder.
And actually, he is the main man. I am helping him rather than he helping me. And I'm just doing what I'm told. So, yeah.
I don't believe that for a minute. What does that mean for you, Michael?
You don't get many builds like this every day, especially being able to run one at my age. It's going to be a great challenge for me.
Tell me then, what is the big plan? What are you going to build?
Okay.
A house, finally.
A house.
Yeah. It's going to be 2 stories for the main reason that I want it to be visual. So you could actually see a building sticking out of the vines, because we are going to do the tastings also from our house. And I have chosen to clad it all in schist stone. And I'm going to do that myself. And I've never done stone masonry.
Oh,
That's going to be a job and a half.
It will indeed. This family-built labour of love will be nestled in the vineyard beside a small lake. Here, 5 steel portals will rise above the vines, forming a barn-like profile. As you enter to the left, there's a guest bedroom suite which adjoins the welcoming tasting room that's packed with earthy elements, including handmade Portuguese tiles, adobe-style plastering, recycled timber beams, and Roland's wonderful schist walls. Guests will sample their wine from the buffet that links to the kitchen and scullery. Industrial steel stairs lead up to Roland and Lucien's cosy private lounge, another guest bedroom, and an airy mezzanine office space that links to the luxurious main bedroom. Above, rustic timber rafters will support the steel roof, which has a matching wraparound veranda. The upper exterior walls will be hand-moulded plaster, and the rest will be clad in schist. The simplicity of this unpretentious home allows its beautiful natural materials to take centre stage, connecting seamlessly to the magnificent setting.
I love the fact that all of you are doing it together as a family. How do you think that's going to affect the dynamic between all of you?
You will always have a little bit of argument, especially the way we're living at the moment. It is all quite cramped.
It's challenging. I don't think any 26-year-old male will jump off a seat to move back in with his folks, but you kind of just think about the bigger picture, and I know that this will do great things for me and them.
What's the budget for the build?
I think it's manageable to do it at 800,000, but
My estimate is close to $1 million.
You sound way more realistic to me. Time-wise, how long is it going to take you?
well, that depends a little bit on the
Stonemason.
Yeah, the stonemason. If it takes me 18 months to put the schist stone up, so it will be.
You really are a tiger for punishment.
This is quite a venture. Michael's never built an entire house before, Roland has no training in stonemasonry, and they're all going to be working and living together in close confines. I hope they know what they're getting themselves in for. Three months on, though, they're undeterred, and Roland has found an excellent ally. Neighbour Damien owns a local schist quarry and has agreed to give him some guidance on selecting and laying stones.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, that's what I like.
You know, they're rustic.
Yeah, I'd like the variation.
It was watching Damien cladding his own home that gave him the inspiration to do the same.
I saw him building all the stones on his own house, and that was just coincidental that he owned a quarry. And I said to Damien, if you can set me up and line me out, I'm probably have enough confidence to do what you do.
Confidence?
Yeah, confidence, yeah.
Or just sheer madness?
Yeah, that's an interpretation. That's,
Do you think Roland's got what it takes to do it himself?
Yeah, I do. Stonemasons make a lovely job, but there is some satisfaction in doing your own stonework, you know.
Absolutely.
Even if it's not as good as a professional stonemason.
The sheer physicality of the job alone is going to be a massive challenge. These rocks are heavy.
as long as I can lift them, then that is something that's a little bit daunting. How do I get the stones up to 6.5 metre high?
It's a lot of hard yakka.
Yeah, I suppose so, a little bit. Yeah,
Schedule your back operation now.
While Roland has yet to prove himself as a stonemason, Michael, after 3 months' dedicated toil, has managed to achieve a significant milestone as a first-time head builder.
I'm super stoked to see the pad down. There was, I think, about a good month's worth of steel tying, which got pretty frustrating at the best of times.
And today, he faces another major test. The structural steel has arrived, which is to be erected by the end of play tomorrow. All 15 tonne of it. But Michael's eagle eye detects something not quite right.
Our drill bit won't get through.
The base plate holes are too small for the engineer-required bolts that secure the steel to the concrete slab.
So we're going to have to get the boys to drill these holes a little bit bigger. 140 holes. How long is that going to take, Danny?
Don't ask me, so.
But they can't start drilling right away because the team needs specialist drills that can cut through the 16mm steel.
We've had to send the boss all the way back down to Paekakariki to pick them up, which is, what, about 2.5 hours from here, and there's torrential rain those ways and the roads are flooded. But I hope to see him soon because we don't have much time left and we've got to drill 140 holes.
Fun and games.
At least while they're waiting for the drills, they can start bolting the portals together. It's 5 in the evening by the time the drills arrive, and the holes must be completed before the day's out because the portals are scheduled to be lifted first thing tomorrow.
There are limits to my enthusiasm, eh? So I'm probably drilling holes with Michael and the two guys from Paekakariki up till about 9, 10 o'clock maybe.
It'll be all hands on deck, including Michael's partner Lauren, who recently left her IT security job in Wellington to be with him.
That's definitely not the average day in the office, that's for sure. So,
as the team gets started with the magnetic drills, it appears that there may be another complication.
It seems like the generator can't power the tool, both the magnet and the drill.
Which means they can't make progress with the holes.
It's now a matter of trying to get power to the middle of nowhere. So we are waiting for a bigger generator, but to do that at 6 o'clock at night, and for us to work these holes, is going to be a bit of an issue. So I've got about 7 guys sitting here twiddling their thumbs.
Roland is frantically calling around to try and source a more powerful generator.
Yeah, we are drilling these holes now, like tonight. There's too many little things going wrong, and that mounts up then to a big thing.
I hope something goes right for them soon, because they're running out of daylight fast. After working through the night, there's a big sense of relief for Michael because all the base plate holes have now been drilled. And Roland's looking positively euphoric because the first portal is about to go up.
They say it's going to take about an hour per portal, so fingers crossed we get all 5 erected today.
With this being his first time in charge of a build, it's a big moment for Michael.
It looks awfully out of place.
For the huge portal to fit into the slots, Michael needs to have got all of his measurements absolutely spot on.
Lower it down and see if we can spread its legs a bit.
It's in the slot. That far one's in the slot. You're on your slot as well, eh?
Fits.
It's like a bloody monolith, eh? It's a monument.
To get this first portal successfully installed is a big relief, and it bodes well for the remaining 4.
Very exciting. Now you can see what it's going to be like. You can see the height. You can see how big it's going to be. So now it's fantastic.
As the rest of the portals go into place, there's the big job of drilling the base plates into the concrete slab. And by the time I show up, they're 30 holes down.
Hi.
With 110 still to go.
We've got 2 drills, Chris, so feel free.
Yeah. Excellent. I'm on the tools.
Yeah, you're onto it, mate.
Clearly, I didn't manage to time my arrival very well.
Whew. That's hard work.
Chris, yeah, how many holes have he done?
Oh, he's there.
Oh, yeah. At least he's doing something useful.
When Michael cast this slab, he tried to position any reinforcing steel away from these bolt hole areas. But it's not always easy to get that right.
That sounds like that we might hit a bit of reinforcement.
What I didn't want to happen has happened. We're starting to hit steel with our concrete drills.
Having to drill through bits of steel makes the job much more difficult and time-consuming.
Bit of a push from the boys and the girls, and we'll get there.
Woo. There's something really special about this build. It's a family affair, and of course they're tackling adversity, but nothing's too difficult. They take it all in their stride.
But there is the ongoing challenge they face, living and working together, which could wear thin, particularly for Lauren, who's sharing Michael's very basic cabin.
Yeah, it's pretty small,
Yeah,
but
is.
it does the job. And like you're looking out at a vineyard, so it's pretty awesome, really.
For all of their basic facilities, they still have to share them with Roland and Lucien.
The end of a long day in paradise.
Yep.
Bring it on.
Back into the tight space. Challenging living with my folks because obviously I'm a grown adult now. It's just, you know, your mum's always your mum watching over your shoulder. She'll be like, oh, you got home at 3 o'clock last night. It's like, so, you know? There are a few challenges, but all in all, it's okay.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. It's a good motivation knowing that it's going to be helping my parents out phenomenally.
It'll be good to see them in somewhere really nice that they really love.
They've lived in a shed that long now. To actually build them something this cool is just, it's a feel-good thing as well.
It's autumn, and 4 months in, the build is progressing nicely. The block walls are well underway and the steel staircase is being installed. But there's no sign of Michael or Roland. That's because it's the busiest, most crucial time for the vineyard, harvest.
I've got no time for the build. Roland has got no time for the build because we just have to have these grapes all off.
It's pretty hard to escape the chores when you're living on the vineyard. As you can see, I'm not going to bend down the whole day. I'm going to sit on this bucket. I've bend enough in my normal job.
Harvest is hard work. Short time, stress, stress, stress. Once it's over, it's relaxing time.
I'm learning that with this family, hard work is not something they shy away from. After a long day harvesting, Roland and Michael are making up for lost time on the build.
Keep fit.
The block layer may have knocked off, but that's not stopping Roland from having a crack at the job himself.
If you're not very good at it, you can't go like that. I think that helps it stick on.
All right. The block layer, he lays about 200 blocks a day, which is phenomenal. If I lay 20, I'm quite happy.
I love the way these guys seem to relish tackling specialist tasks they've never attempted before.
To my naked eye and my little leveler here, it looks pretty straight, so I'm pretty proud.
You're a natural.
With the all-consuming harvest now complete, Roland and Lucien are in search of timber that will embody the earthy, natural aesthetic they're hoping to achieve in their home and tasting room.
We're looking for hardwood with a bit of character in it, so this is the place to be.
This local timber yard specialises in recycled hardwood, salvaged from old structures like wharves and railway bridges.
Look at this, Roland. This is rustic.
This'll be stunning.
What they're mostly after are pieces that could form the exposed rafters that will characterise their ceiling.
This here would be perfect, something along these lines.
Wow, so
Heaps
beautiful.
of character. And
Not too many holes and knots and things.
No, I like that, because that's how it weathered.
Yeah,
And that's
beautiful.
how they poked the bolts through and whatever held it up. Yeah, I really enjoy this.
For these two, it seems the more weathered and rustic, the better.
It's going to be very inviting. It will give warmth, shows atmosphere, and for people to taste wine in a beautiful tasting room. That's really what we try to achieve.
There's something about Lucien and Roland's quest for authenticity that I really like. And with this wood, I think they're really on the right track because each piece, etched by time, has its own story to tell. The rugged local schist Roland and Lucien have chosen also has its own rich history, which is beautifully expressed in central Otago's early settler buildings. And one of the best preserved collections can be found in the gorgeous gold mining settlement of Clyde. The history of this place is fascinating. People came from far and wide in search of gold, and at the beginning, it was very much a kind of tent settlement. But as gold fever grew, settlers bringing stonemasonry skills learned in Europe built more permanent structures from the schist they found here in abundance. Buildings like this that are quite humble, quite simple, but also beautiful in their proportions, the craftsmanship. And it's those kinds of qualities that have inspired Lucien and Roland in their build. It's 6 months since construction began, and the depth of winter has brought snow to the Old Man Range and -5-degree building conditions for Michael and Roland.
There's a gun there for you, but it's not really firing. I'm not sure if it's just because it is stuffed or if it's the cold. Tuck into that corner. It's not the easiest. The tools definitely don't like it. My batteries don't last too long in this cold, let alone me.
On top of this, Michael's having to endure winter without the support from Lauren, who's had to move to Dunedin for work. But they're making good progress. And there's a big development. Roland has started laying his stone.
You start to get an eye for it, but it is a puzzle. I find it very rewarding. I might not go very fast, but my wife, she wants to have this building finished by the summer, and I know that's not going to happen.
Roland had intended starting on the external back wall, so any beginner's mistakes would be less visible, but it didn't pan out that way.
The other day I was running out of work with Michael, and then I thought, oh, you know what, I can start on the internal walls, and that's what I did, yeah.
This is the tasting room, so any glitches he makes, he's going to have to look at every day for years to come.
See, this one sagged out. This is a very heavy stone, and I placed it before the mortar hardened up. So you get a belly, Well, a professional wouldn't have that, but a tradesman would say, woo, Roland.
You've got to admire Roland's pluckiness. Even for an experienced stonemason, this would be a huge task.
I worked out the square meterage, and it was 178 square meters. So yeah, there's a bit of laying to do. I've done 5. Yoo-hoo. 5 square meters. Yeah.
In central Otago, amidst the dormant wintry vines, Roland and Michael are steadily chipping away at the build. But with almost no outside help, they still have a long, strenuous road ahead of them. Lucian helps out when she can, but she has a demanding job of her own, making sure the money keeps coming in.
Of course, besides running the vineyard, I also am in charge of all the accounts, tax, all the payments, wages, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm paying bills.
And for almost 6 years, she's had to manage all of this from her bedroom.
I started off with the office on the dining table, but that just doesn't work because you have folders, you've got files, you always have paperwork.
In the new house, Lucian will have a generous, dedicated office space all to herself.
It's going to be really one big, long desk for me, for computers, printers, everything can be nicely organized. I'm really looking forward to move into my new office, yeah. I want them to hurry up. I think it's taking too long.
In late August, I'm back for a visit, and there's some exciting progress. The recycled timber rafters from the local mill have arrived and are being craned into place.
Hey guys.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, your lovely timber.
It's awesome, it's beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
The 6 that have already been installed run across what will become Lucian's longed-for office.
Gosh, these look gorgeous, guys. They've come up so well.
Just the way I had envisaged it.
You get to get up close and personal with...
I can, yeah.
Yeah.
I can fit underneath them completely. I'm the only one in the house who can do that.
So you can give them a hug every night.
Exactly.
The aged texture of these rafters is wonderful.
Push them my way, if you can.
But installing them isn't straightforward.
Usually I've got a top plate to work with, and all these seat cuts would just naturally fit, but because these things are so rugged, I'm kind of just making it as I go.
Beams like this, they're not like standard industrialized building materials. And he's got the right attitude for it.
Just lower that some more.
Michael may have patience working with these idiosyncratic rafters, but I'm not so sure the same can be said about working with his dad.
You've got this thing in bloody shy. No, don't do that. No, what are you doing? You got to watch, like this, everything's on this prop. No. I'll move it with the prop, but you just got to watch that line.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm watching.
I'm wondering if months of living and working together might be starting to take its toll.
He swings moods like the freaking night and day. So,
I like that.
Yeah, you do. And then I have to deal with that. So I only walked off once off the job.
I haven't walked off once.
No, because I'm the stable guy. So when you are having one of your tantrums...
Hey, you had a that was your tantrum when you walked off.
Yeah, because I don't take...
he doesn't like being told what to do, but...
Yeah, I don't take authority very lightly. So, and he started to dick me around, and I thought, now, this is it. I'm going to go for a cup of coffee. I don't know what you're going to do, and I was, woohoo, I was off.
Ooh, let's hope they manage to keep a lid on things. At least until they've finished the build. But as spring breathes life back into the vines, father and son soldier on. And Roland, having finished the interior stone walls, has started on the outside.
On the inside, I had some little mistakes which I can't work away. So I'm now far more pedantic, I suppose, with how I'm plumbing my stones. Yeah, and I'm getting a little bit proud. So I want to have it perfect. I think I'm about 10% in. With my target of August 2020, I think I'm gonna finish all right.
Fortunately, he's got someone to bounce ideas off. His neighbour Damien, who he purchased the stone from, checks on him from time to time.
I bought this.
Yeah, you could have done with that on your lounge. Yeah.
But see, this stone is not completely plumb. I can see it now, but because I'm getting fussy. So that's not really plumb.
Well, I think he's done a good job most of the time.
I don't mind.
No, I did tell him don't start with your lounge wall, but he didn't listen, so, you know.
It's not too bad.
No, it looks good. I think he's making a nice job and it's going to be something he can be proud of.
As the stone walls slowly progress, at a Cromwell factory there are other advancements. Window joinery is being prepared. Of course, being Roland and Lucien's windows, there's nothing run-of-the-mill about them. Instead of standard pine, the reveals are being made from the recycled hardwood that they love.
For us, it's probably a bit out of the norm. This stuff here now is quite rustic looking. This is probably a good example here. Really quite rough edges, holes, a few wee splits here and there. So that's the finish. And we've got to try and do the best that we can with it. For us, it is really, really out the ballpark. For me, I think it's great that someone's going out of the norm and probably going for something that they want, you know?
It's certainly keeping the joiners on their toes.
Hard to join, hard to source, hard to cut. Personally, I wouldn't choose it, no. No.
Boy, Roland and Lucien aren't making their lives easy choosing these rustic materials. And today, some more are being delivered, all the way from Portugal. 4 tons of hand-baked terracotta floor tiles.
They look beautiful.
But they look
a bit thicker, don't they?
Oh dear, it seems they don't match the sample.
That is going to be a problem. Are they all like that?
Those extra millimetres mean the doors won't swing clear of the floor.
All the doors are fitted and we won't be able to open them.
These tiles took 6 months to get here, so there's no way they can exchange them.
Maybe we can shave a bit off, but
Yeah.
we don't know how easy that is with a hand-baked tile.
So that's one solution. Brilliant, by the way. The other thing is, I've got no idea.
In Otago, the busy growing season has kicked in, and Roland is spraying with a nourishing seaweed formula, which is all part of the strategy to overhaul this once neglected vineyard. And Lucien and Roland's hard work is paying off because productivity has tripled since they bought it.
We already can see the quality of our wines improving, so it really does make a difference how you look after your vines.
Their industrious can-do attitude has clearly rubbed off on Michael, who has now almost finished the roof.
Oh yeah, most builders probably just get a roofer to do this. But I mean, it's all money, you know, at the end of the day. Like this isn't an open checkbook build.
But Michael's impressive skill and dedication is not going unnoticed.
For him at his age to be in charge, because he really is in charge, I'm extremely proud and blessed to have him as a builder, as a son.
Yeah, no, take my hat off. I mean, it's a privilege to build a house with your son. It's really cool.
By late afternoon, Michael completes the roof,
Help yourself to food and that, and there's beers in here.
which calls for a celebration.
Cheers. That's all.
And it's a double celebration because last week, Roland and Lucien's Pinot Noir won gold in a prestigious wine competition.
Cheers, Michael. Thank you. Roland.
It's one of those yoo-hoo moments.
It's a well-earned reward for them. It's just testament to their hard work. They are probably the hardest working people I know. But something like that is really good for them. It just boosts their confidence.
Five days before Christmas, the house is almost closed in. The windows with their rustic reveals have been installed, and Michael, who's been working tirelessly for almost a year, is ready for a well-earned break.
I've got a couple of weeks off for Christmas and that. Keep off the tools for a little bit here. Just seeing my friends and that again, you know, do me a bit of good.
But before he leaves, he has a couple of cumbersome tasks to complete. Some heavy beams need lifting, and Roland's found a way to do it, using a neighbour's tractor, which is small enough to drive inside the house.
Fingers crossed, I hope we are ending up slotting it all together.
I admire this family's ingenuity. Despite limited experience and manpower, they find a way around any challenge.
Where do you want me to go? That way?
Go an inch more.
But right now, things aren't going quite according to plan.
Oh, just catching on this edge here. I'm going to take like 3 mil off that.
So how are you going to do that? I would only take it off that corner.
I hope this doesn't cause any family friction.
No, I can come out.
No, because we're dictated by this pole.
No, you do what you do.
I can get a little bit bossy and stressed out at times, but it's hard. Sometimes you explain something, it's real simple for me, but to give it to them in a quick, understandable way is quite challenging.
After living in each other's pockets so long, I'm sure they're all ready for some time out.
You're in.
But not before they get the tasting room doors in.
No, don't do that.
Why not? Hold on. I can't hold this too long,
Okay.
guys.
Your point can go there in that little
No, it's not. It doesn't go there. Just stop. Remove that idea from your head, okay?
It's going well.
While Michael's desperately trying to get the job done, something else catches Lucien's attention.
So somebody has to hold the door.
Come on, this is
Do what?
I love her priorities.
Yeah.
After redirecting her focus on the job, though, there's a breakthrough.
Thank bloody your lucky star for that.
Finally, Michael can down tools and head away.
Once it's finished and he can see the end product, then the time spent living back with your parents is probably forgotten. It's a bit like giving birth. It's awful when it happens, but once it's done and you see what you've got, then all the pain is gone. So I compare it with that.
I had no issues with that.
No, you didn't.
It's now March, and the entire country is in lockdown because of COVID-19. I don't know how Roland, Lucien and Michael are coping during this unsettling time. And it's a couple of months before it's possible for me to visit and find out.
Hiya, Chris. G'day. Gosh, you've been making some progress.
During the lockdown, 24/7. I haven't been.
So you've had no rest?
No, what's the point of having a day off? I couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't go into the pub, so might as well lay some stones.
And I can see the evidence. He's managed to complete one of the high gable ends. Inside, it looks like there have been no idle moments either.
We tried to keep on going.
I kind of panic bought.
You panic bought?
Yeah, the last day before the shop shut. Just had to buy what I could, and it was just real kind of stab in the dark.
And Roland's been busy in here as well.
I built that. I built the buffet. I decided to put a little bit of schist in the buffet.
I think it's gone to your head, Roland.
Yeah, a little bit.
It has, hasn't it? I mean,
it's not too bad. They say bring the outside in, and I did. Only in 2 walls and a little bit of there.
I hope he's not getting too carried away in here, because he hasn't finished the outside yet.
That's pretty good.
It seems only fair then that I lent him a hand.
Concentrate now.
maybe that stone shouldn't be here at all.
No. I agree.
This really isn't easy. I can't believe what Roland has managed to achieve here.
We can lift it together. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good, because that's a totally different line than everywhere else, and that you'll see those lines, and they look good.
I can see it. When this wall is done, you're going to be standing down there. There'll be people in there drinking wine and all the rest of it, and you'll be going, ah, look at that stone over there.
Yeah, it's not bad, eh?
Another freezing Central Otago winter has rolled around. And today, the hand-baked tiles are being laid. which is a job Roland had always intended doing himself.
I said to Roland, you better get it done by the professionals, and I'm glad we did, because they go much quicker than us, and they do a much better job. I can see that.
You don't know?
Well, I think they would have.
See, she doubt my quality of work.
I'd say that was a wise move. I'm curious to know, though, how they've dealt with the issue of the tiles being too thick to fit under the door.
The solution we came up with is we are not going to lay the tiles straight behind the door. We're going to put a fiber matting in there, which is a fraction of the thickness of the tiles, so the door can swing over it.
I'm glad they've come up with a solution, but there's a much bigger dilemma they didn't see coming.
I went snowboarding a few times and that all went honky-dory, and then I spent one night out with my friends, and yeah, it all turned to custard. So
I just put them down there, I select.
With his wrist broken, Michael can't use it for 6 whole weeks, which means Roland is having to step up as head builder.
I'm back now to try just project manage a little bit and direct Dad, because
I need steering. So it's this board, I go right up against the wall.
yeah, we'll just take the tongue off.
Oh, you do that? I don't. I haven't even bothered.
This expands now, it's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, no. It's still a couple of millimeters off the...
No, it's not, it's hard in. We're on finishing now. Everything you do is pretty much seen. So you really you have to be more pedantic here. The washing machine is about 600 wide, I take it.
Hold on.
Yeah, so you shouldn't...
Okay, I'm now seriously wondering how they're going to finish. If this project wasn't challenging enough before, it certainly is now. And they've got some added time pressure.
In September, Alexandra has a Blossom Festival, and we really wanted to have the tasting room finished so that I could open the Sunday of the Blossom Festival.
And Lucian has already paid for the promotional advertising.
Whether or not that is now feasible makes it a bit scary.
We've got, what, 59 days?
I'm not counting, but...
I am.
It was over a year and a half ago that Roland and Lucian embarked on their dream of building a schist-clad vineyard home with their son, Michael. Back then, Roland hadn't laid a single stone before, and Michael had never headed up a build. But what they lacked in experience, they more than made up for in sheer grit and determination. Just as the house was coming together, Michael broke his wrist. So I'm really hoping they've managed to get it finished. As I approach the vineyard, though, I'm feeling hopeful. Gosh, it looks so hunkered into the land. Beautiful. The purity of the building's simple lines and the earthy permanence of Roland's phenomenal schist walls beautifully evoke Central Otago's rich early settler heritage. G'day, guys.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Chris. I am really good. Gosh, this is looking wonderful.
We're very pleased.
I bet. And you even managed to finish the stonework by the look of things.
Yeah, a little bit tired and very glad that it's over, if you don't mind.
And I have to say, I absolutely love the window reveals, the depth of this lovely schist wall.
Yeah.
It's come up so well. I can't wait to have a look inside.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
Entering the house, there's a warm, welcoming atmosphere, but also a sense of grandeur befitting a fine wine tasting room. The double height space is really working. I love all your old timbers, together with the steel portals, the warmth and the texture of the entire space. They're really working together beautifully.
It's fantastic. We're very, very happy.
And the other thing that I think is really fabulous, this crazy wall that you started with is looking really, really good.
If you look really close, you can see some faults in it, but...
I'd be pretty pleased with that. You're an expert now, Roland.
That's a compliment, so that's good, yeah.
And then, of course, you've got the lovely link through to the kitchen. The schist looks fabulous here too, and the space works beautifully both as a homely kitchen and a place to receive customers.
So, Chris, this is the area where I will do my wine tastings. I really enjoy it. It's nice and spacious. People can stand around it.
I can imagine that people will really enjoy the ambience in here. It could get quite busy.
It could. Scary.
But then they can all break out onto the terrace by the lake.
Yes.
And what a beautiful spot. Upstairs is Lucien and Roland's private living room, and next to that is a space Lucien has been eagerly awaiting.
This is my new office.
It goes on forever.
I finally have space.
Gosh, what a difference.
And the good thing about it is I've got windows that way, windows that way.
So you can spy everybody.
I can spy on everybody.
Leading on from the office is Roland and Lucien's attic bedroom. This is very cozy, up close and personal with your timbers.
Exactly.
Also, you get the fantastic connection, the views out across your beautiful vineyards to the mountains.
Good, eh? The old man range. It carries snow till sometimes right up to Christmas. So it's really pretty.
Great stuff. And what's through here?
That's our ensuite.
The sleek marble floor combines well with the contrasting black tiles and fittings. This is utter luxury.
I've already forgotten the old place.
I mean, you deserve this. You two can just look at each other and go,
We've done it.
We finally did it.
Yes.
And I know there's someone else who'll be breathing a sigh of relief right now. How's the wrist, Michael?
The wrist? Good as gold. Active action now.
Because how did that affect the build?
It really put stress on us all. There was times where I thought, we're not going to make it.
So how are the family relationships now?
Good. I mean, I don't think you can do something like what we've just done and not come out the other side stronger. To have completed it is such a huge achievement for me and a huge end to all the stress, the deadline. It's done. Like, I can relax finally.
It's wonderful to be sitting here. I can't believe it.
I'm so happy to see the whole project from start to finish, to have it done all with your family.
How does it feel to know that this wall right here and the rest of the house was built by your lovely husband?
I think Roland has done a marvelous job. He had patience, he had vision. The end result is fantastic. It is.
But I'm not going to take this credit because I would have never, ever tackled this project without Michael. His passion for this building was as big as mine. And if people come in here and they say, who built this? Yeah, pretty proud to say that's my son.
At the beginning, there was an idea about the cost. Where did it end up?
I said it is going to be close to 900, maybe even $1 million. And so we ended up $853,171.
Oh, you are unbelievable. That's a definite first, knowing right down to the penny what your house cost.
Absolutely.
You can't let it run away.
And you haven't. To do a build like this, out of these materials, for that, I think, is quite extraordinary.
We were
very pleased.
Yeah.
We're very pleased.
Yeah.
At the beginning, you said that it was going to take roughly 18 months, but there was the Blossom Festival, wasn't there?
Correct. That's happening this Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yes. It's all go.
You guys are tigers for punishment.
I will be busy, that I can serve my beautiful wines in a beautiful setting.
How special is that?
It is.
The thing that I really, really love about what you two have done is the way that it looks is everything to do with this deep love of making, the crafting, the hard work that goes in to actually placing a stone on a stone. I am super impressed. It's lovely.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And I will enjoy living here.
How could you not? This place is all about pioneering, breaking in the land and doing the hard yards. With their love of simple forms, beautiful local materials, and a huge appetite for hard work, Lucien, Roland, and Michael have created something that deeply belongs here. In their hands, the spirit of Central Otago is alive and well.
All of you have played a big part in creating our dream. Also, my son Michael, he did it with great passion and